Shamans of Northern Eurasia believed in the concept of a tree at the center of everything. Now, this tree was the symbolic mechanism that allowed the shaman to travel to the other worlds. In other words, it allowed the shaman to transform from one state of consciousness to another. So whether or not you classify yourself as a shaman or a Wiccan or a ceremonial magician or even an eclectic explorer, this concept of altered states is absolutely fundamental. And if you don't understand how this works, well, it's not really surprising that all your work has nothing more than just a slight margin above the probability of chance. So in this episode, I'm going to look at the tree and the symbolism of the tree and see how it can be used as a bridge between the world as we know it and the world of reality as described by quantum mechanics. And that will bring everything together, as knowing how things work in reality is the key to success. So the first thing you're going to say to me is that, well, the shamans never knew anything about quantum physics. And that's true. But they did have a knowledge that was handed down through millennia, and they did understand that they were dealing with the world outside of their own. It's only now that quantum physics has come around to explain some of these things. So let's start off by understanding just exactly what the shamanic tree actually is. The shamanic tree is said to be the Axis Mundi, or the tree which everything revolves around. Its branches are said to stretch right up into the heavens and the roots deep into the underworld. At the highest point in the branches sits the eagle, and deep below and in the underground the serpent of knowledge entwines itself around the roots. And these symbols are significant because it's said that up there we seek inspiration and enlightenment, and down there we seek wisdom and knowledge. And that's precisely what these symbols represent. The eagle represents inspiration and enlightenment, and the serpent is a well-known symbol of knowledge. At the base of the roots of the tree lies the sacred well, and from this well flows 7 rivers, the 7 rivers of life, and they run through the underworld and rise up in a rainbow to encompass all of the other worlds. Guarding this well is the stag-headed god, lord of the underworld and keeper of wisdom and knowledge. Now the tree is obviously symbolic, and it's the mechanism by which the shaman is able to move from one conscious state to another. So how is this tree used then? Well, the shaman would enter a trance state, and he would use the symbolic tree to either ascend or descend to reach the desired state of consciousness. And if you're interested in finding out a bit more about how to attain a shamanic trance, then there's a video I did a little while ago, and it's a guided shamanic journey, and it goes into quite a bit of depth about achieving the shamanic state of mind, and it then talks you on to the journey itself. So I'll put the link to that video up there somewhere. So you may be asking now, well, why is this important to me? I'm not a shaman, and I don't want to undergo any shamanic journeys. I'm happy enough with my own system and working within that. So what does this have to do with me? Why is this the root of all power? Well, that brings us on to the purpose of ritual and the true meaning of the purpose of ritual. So why are you conducting rituals? Do you really believe that lighting a few candles and burning some incense and speaking some mystical words is really going to have much of an effect? Unfortunately, the true meaning of the ritual is often, and I would say usually, lost by the emphasis placed on the ritual itself. The ritual, when conducted properly, should put you in the right place, the right state of mind to be able to plant the seed. And the ritual should also provide a concrete affirmation. Not only were you in the right subconscious state and the right place, but you know that this work will be done. And it's important that you know this and you know why, if you can expect any chance of success. And so that brings us back to how you know that this is going to be successful, and in turn brings us back to the Shamanic Tree. And it also takes us into the realm of quantum physics. If you want detail about quantum physics and its role working with the natural energies, then there's a video I'll post a link to up there. But for now, we'll just carry on with the assumption that you've watched that video, or if not, you soon will. Now, the quantum world is the world of the very, very small, and it's a very strange world. So strange, in fact, that particles of matter don't even exist, not until they're observed. And they are just, so all matter are just waves of energy until observation and measurement. And what's more, they can be in two places at once, and they can communicate across space. In fact, there's a theory that space doesn't really exist at all. And this is reality. Not our reality, because our reality is presented to us by our five senses. So our reality is an illusion that's presented to us by the limitations of our five senses and the inability to see the greater whole. And so we live in a vast sea of energy, which is the fundamental building block of everything. And this sea of energy consists of every possible outcome or event that could ever exist. But they don't exist until they're actually observed. And this is in accordance with what we know from quantum mechanics. So, what does this mean? Well, it means that you control your own reality. And to control your destination, you work with energy, the fundamental building blocks of the real universe. So how do we work with energy when we live in a physical world? Well, the mind is the bridge. You see, your thoughts, your emotions and your instincts, these are things that are on the borderlands between the world of our physical reality and the world of spirituality. And the spiritual world is the world of natural energies. And so your mind is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. And the world of spirit, the world of energy, governs everything. And so these altered states of consciousness that we seek give us the ability to work within the other world, the spiritual world, and the world of pure energy. And so ever since man started looking up into the sun, he wondered about other worlds. And the knowledge he gained was handed down through generations to generations. And the sum of this knowledge became accumulated into the mechanism and symbol of the shamanic tree. So it's this tree, the tree at the center of everything, that represents the fundamental forces of energy, the forces that govern everything. So if you've enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And with that, I'll see you in another 2 weeks on another episode.